The priests of Amun-Ra in the scales of Ma'at, Africa, cradle of civilization. In the golden city of Wazid, beneath the watchful gaze of the great temple of Amun-Ra, High Priest Amenhotep stood before the sacred scales of Ma'at. The feather of truth lay upon one dish, while the heart of the accused, a nobleman named Jehudi, would soon be weighed against it. The fate of the kingdom rested upon this judgment. Jehudi stood accused of hoarding grain during a famine, violating the laws of Ma'at, the cosmic order that governed truth, justice, and balance. The people whispered that his greed had tipped the scales of harmony, bringing suffering to the land. Amenhotep, a scholar of astronomy and medicine, knew that Ma'at was not merely a divine force but a principle woven into the fabric of existence. The temple scribes had calculated the flooding of the Nile using mathematics. Its physicians had healed using knowledge passed down through generations. The priests were not just keepers of faith but guardians of wisdom. "Speak, Jehudi," Amenhotep commanded. "Does your heart align with Ma'at?" The nobleman's face darkened. "I took only what was mine. The weak perish, that is the way of the world." Amenhotep shook his head. "The world thrives when all things are in balance. The strong protect the weak, the rich feed the poor, and truth outweighs deceit. This is Ma'at." He signaled the priests, and Jehudi's heart was placed upon the scale. The crowd gasped as the dish trembled, then sank. The heart was heavier than the feather. A murmur spread through the temple. The gods had spoken. But Amenhotep hesitated. Justice demanded punishment, yet wisdom demanded understanding. He turned to the temple scholars. "What does the imbalance tell us?" A young scribe, Nefrit, stepped forward. "Perhaps the weight is not just his guilt, but the disruption he caused. To restore Ma'at, the harm must be undone." Amenhotep nodded. "Then Jehudi shall distribute his grain to the starving. He will work in the healing houses to see the suffering he ignored. Only when balance returns will his heart be light." The people murmured in approval. Jehudi, humbled, bowed his head. As the years passed, the kingdom flourished. The priests recorded the stars, mended the sick, and upheld the laws of Ma'at. When foreign invaders came, seeking to conquer, Amenhotep met them not with swords, but with scrolls. "You seek power," he said, "but without justice, power crumbles." The invaders, struck by the wisdom of Ma'at, chose alliance over war. Centuries later, in a world far removed from the sands of Egypt, a philosopher spoke of universal laws, a scientist calculated the movement of planets, and a judge weighed evidence with impartiality. Though the names had changed, the essence remained. The legacy of Ma'at endured. And somewhere, beneath the ruins of Wazid, the scales still weighted, eternally balanced. Legacy of Ma'at in modern thought. 1. Justice and ethics. The concept of weighing actions against fairness persists in legal systems today. 2. Scientific inquiry. Temples like those of Amun-Ra were early centers of learning, foreshadowing universities. 3. Cosmic order. The idea of a universal balance appears in philosophy, physics, and environmental thought. Ma'at was more than a myth. It was humanity's first great attempt to define harmony, a principle that still guides us. Don't forget to like, drop comments, share, follow, or subscribe below. Thanks for watching.